Jay, you were a two-time National Coach of the Year at Wake Forest. You won a national championship. You were there for 2 decades as a head coach, almost 3 decades. Why make the move from college at Wake Forest to come here to coach Timbers 2?
A new challenge in the game. I think it was an unbelievable opportunity to join a great club in MLS. I mean, the Timbers are special, special from organization down to its fans. I think it's just, around the country, everybody knows. So it was a great opportunity to immerse myself into the game a little more, do something a little bit different, and challenge myself.
Take me back to that decision a few months ago on a personal level. I mean, you lived in North Carolina. You were at Wake Forest for almost 3 decades, literally moving across the country. It's almost 2,500 miles from Winston-Salem to Portland. Was that a difficult personal decision for you to make?
For sure. It was a difficult situation. My whole family had moved to be around me, my mother, my father-in-law, everybody like that, and my brother-in-laws, they all had moved to town to be around me. They thought I was going to be a fixture there. I'd given 30 years of my life to building Wake Forest, and had a pretty good thing going. So I felt like I had done it, did it. It was just a new challenge, to move on. I think one is you got to look at Caleb. He's a hell of a recruiter, and his timing was unbelievable, because one of the things that goes through your mind is, we got knocked out of the NCAA tournament, and all I had to think of was that now I have to wait until September 1 for my next game. And that's hard for me. I like to prepare for matches and have games, and like to do it all the time. So personally, it was a big challenge, but at the same time, it was a challenge, and that's I guess in my blood as well. What
was your relationship like with Caleb before you got here, and how has it grown since you've been in Portland?
We've known each other one way or another for a long time, whether or even knew of him as a player at Indiana, and then when he took over at Akron, he spent a lot of time, we played each other quite a bit. We stayed in touch with each other. We also had the opportunity to work with the youth national teams together. So we found that we like talking soccer to each other, because we're not the same, but we thought of the game in a lot of ways the same way, or we'd like to talk about the game.
Have you had your ideas of the game maybe not challenged, but changed by being in this system at all?
Oh, for sure, challenged all the moment. And I think that's, like I said, challenge is the reason why I came, and I think Caleb and his staff has been able to challenge me. The game, the players all are able to challenge me, and if I'm going to do the job right, before I can put my imprint on things, I have to be able to make sure that I know Caleb and Timbers' way, spot on.
For people who are unfamiliar with the concept of T2, the USL affiliate, describe where T2 fits into the organization of the club as a whole.
One is it's forward thinking by Caleb and Gavin and Merritt of how are we going to sustain the Timbers, how are we going to be a successful group, and particularly when you start looking at the monies that whether it's New York or Toronto or LA or in Seattle are throwing out there, how is a market like Timbers going to do it? And a lot of it's going to have to be producing your own players. Gavin and has done a great job of already identifying some younger players who we believe that if given the right opportunity, the right training environment, that we can perhaps take one of those players and help them make it to the first team. So that's a big key part of it. The other part about it is where it's big time is, like say at training, we had six young men from the first team who, because of needed extra minutes because they're young, they're trying to break in. So now we can give them additional training opportunities. We can also give them additional game opportunities, and that's such a key thing for them. Is at this stage, for sure, the game is the best teacher, and we have to be able to give them professional level games. And for them just to sit on the first team bench and go through that process takes them nowhere. So here's an opportunity for them to grow.
How do you balance that development of young players, of individual players, with winning games in the USL? Are those ideas in conflict with each other? Are they mutually exclusive, or can both happen at once?
I believe they can both happen at once. Will it be immediate? I'm not sure, but at this stage, learning how to win and knowing how to win through proper soccer is a key development cycle. And it's no longer, win at all costs, it's win in a Timber way. Players who might be able to help us win games are really of no use to us if we can't think in our way of how are they going to help our players get to the next level. So they may help me win a championship, but if the real thing is finding players to help the first team, that may be a detriment. It may take minutes away from somebody, etc.
Finally, let's go 6 months into the future, and season's over. It was a success. Why was Timbers 2 a success? What will make this season a success?
Well, I think one is if we can, at the T2 level, create a culture that mimics the first team. I think second is if there's a way where one or two of our players help in some shape with the first team, whether it's strengthening their training sessions, whether it's actually getting minutes, and I think then there's also going to have to be something that within that culture that we will have to have been playing a way that will please first team staff, the owner, and the Gavins, as well as the Timbers Army and the rest of the fans. I think that's something that they expect from this club.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank you.